곧하는구나.
Hi, today we're talking about a few moments in Lovely Runner that I just couldn't get out of my head. Before we dive in, quick disclaimer. I'm just a drama fan with a what-if problem and way too much time to think about them. So this isn't about rewriting the story, it's just one fan's take on a different path it could have taken. Now, let's explore it together. To be fair, Lovely Runner was a masterpiece. I loved everything about it. The yearning, the kisses, the storyline, all of it.
Sun-Jae! 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 Sun-Jae!
But there are things about this drama that I still wonder about. First of all, what happened to Run Run? This song was introduced at the very beginning. Sun-Jae performs it at the concert, and it stays in your head. It stayed in my head so much that it ended up on my Spotify Wrapped. So naturally, I spent the entire drama awaiting for it to come back. But it never really did. With all the focus on sudden showers, I started wondering what happened to the other songs on the Eclipse albums from the first timeline. Were they erased? Or were they tied to a version of the story that no longer existed? That is, Sun-Jae as a singer-songwriter. Another thing that stood out to me was this. Through Im-Sol's first 3 attempts at time travel to the past, her fate with Kim Young-soo felt inevitable. You know, like no matter what she changed, fate kept dragging her back to him. But did you notice that after her final time travel, when she made the choice to erase herself from Sun-Jae's life, that stopped? In the drama's final timeline, it looks like she never encounters Kim Young-soo in 2008 or 2009 at all, which would make one wonder, if there was a way she could have avoided meeting Kim Young-soo in the first place, that seems like the obvious goal then, right? Instead of erasing herself from Sun-Jae's life, perhaps focusing on erasing Kim Young-soo from her life. Stay with me, okay? Let's move on to the next point. In the episode that made Im-Sol choose erasure, Sun-Jae gets stabbed, thrown off a cliff, and this now happens in the 2008-2009 timeline, not in the future 2023 timeline like it was supposed to. So Im-Sol has just done her third and final time travel using Sun-Jae's old watch, and she is completely devastated when he dies in the past this time. But then, the watch resets on Sun-Jae's wrist. So here's the main alternate plot twist. What if at this point, Sun-Jae was also given a chance to go back? Now, going back to erasing Kim Young-soo, if Sun-Jae went back with his memories from his own last timeline, the smart thing to do would be working with Taesong and his dad to capture or eliminate Kim Young-soo without involving Sol. You know, manly, protective instincts. We know this probably would have worked, since Kim Taesong's active involvement seems to be the secret remedy to the Kim Young-soo nuisance, and then he can begin his pursuit of Sola. Now, logically, we know the erasure of Kim Young-soo makes sense. It's clean, efficient, and solves the problem. But we also know that Lovely Runner was never that kind of story. It's more about love, sacrifice, and choices. And if Sun-Jae fixes everything immediately, then Sol's sacrifice loses its weight. The story becomes too simple. So instead, Sun-Jae goes back in time also, and because of everything he knows, Sol's recurring heartbreak, tensions, etc., he chooses restraint and allows Sol to think she successfully erased herself from his life, while quietly watching and loving her from the background. Episode 2 already told us something important. Sun-Jae was always aware of Im-Sol. He noticed her first, he wrote songs about her, and when she had her accident in the original timeline, he loved her painfully from a distance, all while pretending to be indifferent. Also, we see that he is pretty protective and willing to make extreme sacrifices for Im-sol. So what if we had a final timeline that works the same way?
너 구하고 죽는 거면 난 괜찮아.
In the original timeline, we get parts of this. But honestly, it was hard for me to watch Sun-Jae once again being unaware, falling for Sol all over again, as always, while Sol had to be mean and push him away just to keep him safe. And I couldn't help but think, another what if? What if he lets her believe that she truly erased herself from his life to protect her peace? What if he doesn't interfere, he doesn't act, he just stays back and yearns from afar? So in the future timeline, when he runs into her at the award ceremony and, air quotes, mistakes her as a thief, it could just be that he knew who she was all along and was just baiting her, which would be classic Sun-Jae. Here, we could have an episode 2 style discovery of yearner Sun-Jae instead of repeating the same pattern, Sun-Jae chasing Sol in the dark as she's cold and distant toward him for reasons he doesn't understand. In the original final timeline, fate forcibly brought them together again in this moment anyway, so in this alternate what if, this moment could be Sun-Jae taking it as a sign to get back in Sol's life again. Let's try to tie it all together. In the final timelines for the 2023 future, we see the little girl fan stalker plot. We see in the final original timeline that she is briefly kidnapped and escapes off camera. Following our previous what-if alternate timeline, now with the blessing from the universe, Sun-Jae finally takes control. Since he returned to the past, he has his memories from that timeline and knows about Kim Young-soo, so he will be more cautious in this timeline. When Kim Young-soo was caught on his dashcam footage in the original, we could change that to Sun-Jae seeing him, recognizing him, and taking action. In this, the final drama would be that the fangirl is kidnapped by Kim Young-soo, reported missing, the police are looking for clues, and Sun-Jae unknowingly provides a clue to save her by contacting someone he kind of hates, to ask him to track someone quietly for him. Enter Kim Tae-song. Here, we see the reveal that he stayed frenemies with Kim Tae-song in the whole new timeline. They're not friends, they're not enemies, we get to keep their enjoyable bickering. So this time, the criminal doesn't slip through the cracks. And in the final confrontation in the original story, Sun-Jae gets a splitting headache from all the memories and ends up in the middle of the road. Kim Young-soo almost hits him, but is blocked last minute by Tae-song. In this alternate what-if, Sun-Jae is waiting for his manager to bring the car. Kim Young-soo sees him and deliberately tries to hit him because he found out it was Sun-Jae's dashcam that exposed him. Callback to when Kim Young-soo heard Tae-song's dad on the phone with Im-sol telling her he'd been caught. In this new scenario, Sun-Jae does get injured, but only slightly, so that we see Im-sol actually get to the hospital, weeping. Sun-Jae pretends to be unconscious as she wails, confessing her love, revealing everything. When he opens his eyes, he calls her Sola, like he used to, and she finds out he retained memories. And we continue the happily ever after. The serial killer finally dies. No resets, no loose ends. This justifies how Sun-Jae remembers everything. He stays quiet, he watches her the same way he always did, from the background. He still gets injured and can no longer be a professional swimmer. He still joins the band, he still writes his songs, and this time, Run Run survives. Because Run Run was never about the timeline where she stayed, it was about the one where she left. Wow, poetic, right? I know. A side note on the songs, it never really sat right with me that in the drama's final timeline, Im-sol writes Sudden Showers as part of her script. Nope, it felt like stealing from Sun-Jae. We can retain Im-sol's friendship with Kim Tae-song because, you know, second lead, alternative love interest, necessary.
이놈은 어디서 쌈지라고 왔나 보네.
And we see that because she avoids Sun-Jae completely after her last time travel trip, they all, Taesong, Sun-Jae, and Seol, never met together in the past timeline. So with this ending, Sun-Jae didn't lose her over those past 10 years. He just loved her the way he always had, in the background. What do you think, guys? By the way, was I the only one who fell in love with Run Run over sudden showers? Also, would you want to see more videos like this? Let me know in the comments what you would like me to review next.
뭐 내일 경기장에서 보자.
응.